and I'm going to share. All of you are here, please respond. Please respond, all of you. Okay. So you can hear me, right? Everything is clear. Okay. So you will get your lab report at the end of the today. Okay, the by night lab report of the conductometric and gravimetric determination. That one you will get tonight. Okay. So I am going to share my screen. So can you see screen now? Okay. So one more thing, I actually uploaded. I uploaded the today's questions and everything, like the link also. I believe all of you have gone through the at least the theory, the first link. Whatever. So I am going over it. So this is the video. So for today's lab is potentiometric titration of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, potentiometric titration of hydrogen peroxide. So what happened in the hydrogen peroxide? So what about the hydrogen peroxide? In our lab, actually we get hydrogen peroxide. We actually purchase the hydrogen peroxide. But the thing is that all those hydrogen peroxide, all of this hydrogen peroxide comes with the 30 to 35% of the hydrogen peroxide. But sometimes you need some exact amount of the hydrogen peroxide. You understand? 30% or 20%. Anyone want to say anything? Hello? Now everything okay? Okay. So yeah, so 30 to 35% of the hydrogen peroxide normally it comes, but but sometimes you need to know exact amount of the hydrogen peroxide what you are going to use. Okay, so that's why this lab is designed, so that you know that what is the exact amount of hydrogen peroxide you have, whatever you bought. The thing is that if you purchase the hydrogen peroxide, and if we normally need to keep it in the dark so that hydrogen peroxide doesn't like react. So what happened, uh, if you keep it even in the dark in the refrigerator, but the concentration is decreases slowly. So, okay, so that's why it's a secondary standard substance. As you know, the when the concentration of anything changes with the time, this is called the secondary standard substance. So that's why we need to know the exact amount of the hydrogen peroxide, or the concentration or the percentage of the hydrogen peroxide. Clear? So now MnO4. So to do that, we need to take the help of the KMnO4. Okay, KMnO4 here is a uh, is a indicator also. So it's called the self indicator. So what does the indicator? You know what is this? It changes its color in the equivalence point. Equivalence point can be measured with the change of its physical state. It can be color, or it can be precipitated, or something else. Okay, so here this KMnO4, okay, potassium permanganate. So this one change its color in the equivalence point. Okay, so you have to find out the exact concentration of the hydrogen peroxide, whether it is 30% or 35%, or maybe sometimes it is even less. If you keep the hydrogen peroxide for a long time, then the concentration become much more less, even 25, 28%, 25%, like that also. So for that we need to take the help of the KMnO4. Now why we have selected the KMnO4? Okay, we could select a lot of things, but why we have selected the KMnO4? This is one question. And if you go over the questions, you'll see that this question is actually, I asked this question also. So it has two reasons. First one is that, as I said, this is a self indicator. The second reason is that this is a this has the variable oxidation state, and it gives variable color, like different color in the different uh, medium. Suppose here So here so this is KMnO4. Now when it is in the acidic medium, when it is the oxidation state of the manganese of this KMnO4 is +7. I believe you know how to calculate the oxidation state, right? Can you all respond? You guys have good idea about the oxidation state? So you know, right, how to find out the oxidation state. And if you even don't know, don't worry, I actually discuss how to calculate the oxidation state of Mn, because this is oxygen, it is -2 always multiplied with the 4, since it is 4 atom is there, so that's why multiplied it becomes the -8. So equivalent to the -1, since the minus sign is here. So if this -8 goes to the right side, it becomes +8. So +8 -1, that means +7. The Mn is +7. I actually discussed it. So if MnO4, the Mn of the MnO4 is +7, okay, then when it is in the acidic medium, okay, it is convert from the +7 to the +2. You see, +7 to the acidic medium, it becomes +2, and it is actually colorless. Okay, suppose if you use a very strong acidic like sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid or something like that, then it becomes from the +7 to the +2. But when you use a basic medium, okay, H2O2 is an KMnO4, when you use in the basic medium, then it became from the +7 to the +6. So what is going to happen here actually? What is going to happen here? So oxidation number is of Mn is decreasing. For the basic medium, it is decreasing from the +7 to the +6, less decrease. And for the acidic medium, it is converting from the +7 to the +2. Try to understand. So that's why we normally use the KMnO4, because it, even if it is in the basic medium, we can detect, because from purple to the green, it becomes from purple to the green when it is a basic medium. It becomes purple to the colorless when it is in the acidic medium. Okay, and it becomes, even if you use in between these, not a very high, a very strong base or not very strong acid, in between, in middle of that, like it becomes +7 to the +4. Okay, +4 I have discussed here. It becomes +7 to the, you see, +4, and the color of this +4 is actually brown. Okay, so it means that the manganese, it gives, once it gives variable oxidation state, as well as it also gives the various in the color, the color of this oxidation state changes. The color of the manganese changes with the change of the oxidation state. You understand? So KMnO4, okay, is acting here as an oxidizing agent or reducing agent? Anyone answer? So here +7 to the +2 or +4 or +6. So it is actually oxidizing or reducing? It is acting as an oxidizing agent or reducing agent? Why? It's reducing, so it's an, yes, it is reducing itself, so it's an oxidizing agent. Okay, so it is reducing itself, so it's an oxidizing agent. Just give me a second. So yeah, so it's a reducing the itself, so it's an oxidizing agent, and it is act as a very strong oxidizing agent when it's in the acidic medium, right? When it is in the acidic medium, it is converting from +7 to the +2, so it's acting as a very strong oxidizing agent. But when it is converting from +7 to +6, that means it is acting as a weak oxidizing agent. You understand? So the oxidizing agent, it is an oxidizing agent, but still it is not acting as good as when it is in the basic medium or in between this. But it acts as a very strong oxidizing agent when it is is in the acidic medium. Okay. But on the other hand, what happened to this guy, hydrogen peroxide? So this guy, it has the oxygen of the left hand hydrogen peroxide is the -1. Okay, is -1. So from here it is converting to the 0, right? It is converting to the -1 to the 0. Okay, so it is what? It is gaining electron or losing electron? So since negative character is losing, that means it is a losing electron. Okay, so this is an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes this guy, the hydrogen peroxide. But here the number of electron is actually, it is releasing, right? It is releasing. But on the other hand, it is actually gaining the number of electron. The first one is gaining the number of electron, right? So if you have, if you have the sorry to bother you, actually my class is supposed to actually observe, but I don't know why, so that's why I am actually was on the, anyway. So so here Mn is changing from +7 to the +6, okay, when it is in the acidic medium, and the oxygen is here on the left side. So how many oxygen is here in the left? um, you want to say anything? Yes, so it's losing and it's an oxidizing agent. So so let's talk about the first one. um, so Mn is changing from the +7 to the +2, okay, when it is in the acidic medium. When it is in the acidic medium, it is converting from the +7 to the +2. So how many electron it is losing? So it is gaining, it is gaining actually +7 to the +2. That means that it is gaining 5 electron, right? The positive character losing, that means it is gaining negative character. That means +5 electron it is gaining. Okay, so once it is gaining electron, so it is converting from the +7 to the +2. And you also have the oxygen, 4 oxygen you have. So you have 4 oxygen, it can produce the 4 water, right? It can produce 4 water. So it is called the 4H2O, 4 water, which has 8 hydrogen, right? So that's why to balance it, I have put it 8 hydrogen on the left side. You understand? This is called the half reaction. Okay, you understand this half reaction, how to balance this half reaction? Please response, everyone. Everyone response. Okay. So, and for the, so now talk about the next one, the second one. So here is going to happen, the oxygen is -1. Here oxygen is -1. As I said, if you watch the video, you see that I discussed about oxygen oxidation state is always -2 except hydrogen peroxide, except in the hydrogen peroxide. If it is in the hydrogen peroxide, then it is -1. Other than this, it is always -2. Okay, other than this, it is always -2 except in the hydrogen peroxide. So this is the hydrogen peroxide, it is -1. So it is converting from -1 to the 0. That means it is releasing some negative character, isn't it? -1 to 0, it is releasing some negative character. Once it is releasing negative character, so that means it is releasing actually electron. The oxidation is happening. Okay, so it is releasing some electron. Okay, so one oxygen is releasing one electron, so two oxygen will release two electron, -2 electron. So and you have the two hydrogen, I have balanced it, two hydrogen, by writing on the right side. Okay, so this is called a half reaction. I believe you understand the first half reaction and the second half reaction. So in this case, you have to add the things. Okay, you have to add the both of the reactions. Then what will happen? Then in this type of reaction, you have to balance the number of electron. What is the number of electron here? 5. What is the number of electron here? 2. So they are not balancing, right? You have to cancel out this. So to do that, you have to multiply the whole thing of the first one with the 2, the whole reaction of the second one with the 5. So then this will be 10 electron, this will be 10 electron, and it is minus sign, it is plus sign. So you can add both of them, all the electron will be cancelled. So if you do that, it will be like this. It will be 6 hydrogen, 2 molecule of MnO4, 5 molecule of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Actually, I have mistakenly written O5. So it is H2O2 and 2 molecule of manganese and 8 molecule of water and this. Okay. So if you add this, the whole reaction will be look like this. Clear? So this is basically a 2:5 reaction. Try to understand. This is basically a 2:5 reaction, right? Where 2 mole of MnO4 react with the 5 mole of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, the 2 mole of MnO4 react with the 5 mole of the hydrogen peroxide. You guys understand till this part? Please everyone respond. Okay, so and also this is a 2:5 reaction, because this 2:5 reaction system you need to know because of for the calculation. Okay, so let's talk about this one, the experimental part now. What is the so in this experiment, the stock solution will be given to you. This stock solution will be given, we will give you. Okay, we will give you this stock solution, 30 to 35%. Okay, so I labeled it as A. See, it is an A. I labeled it as A. So from that A, you will take 2 ml of A in 100 ml of the volumetric flask and make it up to the mark with the water. Okay, so you will take 2 ml of these A and to the 100 ml of volumetric flask and make it up to the mark. It is actually, so the B is nothing but a 2% solution of A. You understand? The B is nothing but a 2% solution of this guy A. Right? You understand this till this? Everyone response, please. everyone. Okay, so this is a 2% solution of A. Okay, so from this B you are going to take, so this B will help you to find out the to do the titration. Okay, this B is for the titration. So now wash the burette with, and fill the burette with the 0.02 mole of the KMnO4. So wash the burette and fill the burette with the 0.02 mole of KMnO4. So you are going to wash the burette and fill the burette with the 0.02 mole of KMnO4. Okay, so the your burette and these also the KMnO4 will provide you, and this concentration will be written, will be given, and it is normally 0.020 mole of KMnO4. So you will fill that KMnO4 into the burette. Clear? So your burette will fill up the KMnO4, and since it is a purple color, it's a colorful substance. Always, if it is not a colorful substance, as we discussed in the in our previous lab, if it is a colorful substance, you have to watch the upper meniscus. Okay, in the burette you have to watch the upper meniscus. If it is a colorless, then you have to watch the lower meniscus. Clear? If it is a colorful compound, it's very difficult to find out the lower meniscus, so that's why we will consider the upper meniscus to find out the amount of the KMnO4. Okay, and if it is a colorless, it is very easy to find out the lower meniscus, so we will actually focus on the lower meniscus of the burette to find out the exact amount. Okay, so you will take 20 ml of B with the pipette. Okay, 20 ml of this guy B, hydrogen peroxide, with the pipette, and plus 15 ml of water in the beaker. Okay, 20 ml of B you will take, and I labeled it as a C. This guy is a C. Okay, and 15 ml of water in a beaker. Why we have added water? Just to submerge the probe. Okay, just to submerge the probe and set the ORP probe, and we will start the titration. Okay, we will start the titration. So how will you do the titration? I actually made a video for the titration, how to do the titration. We will go over it. Okay, so before that, let's talk about what you need to do the calculation, what you need to do in the calculation. So regarding the experimental, you guys understand the experimental part, because it's very simple. Today's lab is very simple. Just you will take, first you will make the B solution. How? Just taking the 2 ml of the hydrogen peroxide from A and make it up to the mark with the like 50 times dilution. Okay, then what will happen? You will get a solution of B, hydrogen peroxide. Okay, then this hydrogen peroxide, you will take this B in your beaker and titrate with the KMnO4. That's it. 3 times. You have to do the titration 3 times. Clear? And how we actually do the titration? Always, so fast titration is always 1 ml interval. Fast titration is always 1 ml interval, because you have to find out exactly at what point the equivalence point is happening. Okay, just this is just to get an idea. But suppose you got at 23 ml, your first equivalence point is around 23 ml, so you actually know that it is in the 23 ml. So when second titration you go, so till 20 ml you can go even 5 ml distance, that's fine. But after 20 you should go 0.01 molar. Okay, 0.1 molar ml of the distance, that means 2 drop. Each 2 drops you have to take the measurement, so that you know actually exact what point the equivalence point is coming. Okay, and the equivalence point here, in this case, the equivalence point you will be able to find out in 2 ways. One is from the graph, another from the color change. Okay, so you guys understand the experimental part? Please respond. Okay, great. So now what do you need to calculate? Let's discuss. So first you need to calculate the number of moles of KMnO4 you used. So what is the KMnO4? KMnO4 is in the burette, right? Is in the burette. The burette has the KMnO4. So now moles of the KMnO4 you use. So suppose you have taken 25 ml of the KMnO4. You needed 25 ml of the KMnO4. You know the volume from the titration. Okay, I gave you the data in the post lab questions. Okay, So you'll discuss the first lab, how to demonstrate the lab, then you can go over the post lab questions. We can go over the post lab questions. So calculate the number of moles of KMnO4 you used. Okay, so you have taken 0.02 molar of the KMnO4, and from the titration you will know that how much of the KMnO4 you needed. It is around 23 ml something. So if you multiply the number of moles with the volume in liter, you'll get the calculate the number of moles of KMnO4 you used, isn't it? You got it? How to calculate the number of moles of KMnO4 you used? Response. Everyone response. Everyone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more students to reply here. Who is he or she? Isra Tahir. Are you here, Isra? Isra Tahir. Can you hear me or you fall asleep? So no response from the Isra for a long time. So it's not in the classroom. So anyway, so you guys all understand. So I'm going to note it down. Isra Tahir. Okay, so stock out then. Okay, so calculate the number of moles of MnO4 you used. You got it. Now the calculate the number of moles of H2A2 in C. So you use what about the number of moles of KMnO4 you used, and now you have to find out the number of moles of hydrogen peroxide. How can you do that? You see, this is a 2:5 reaction. This is a 2:5 reaction, right? So what about the number of mole of KMnO4? You will get it here. If you multiply that number of moles of KMnO4 with this is a 2:5, that means 2.5. What about the number of moles of KMnO4? You got it. Okay, you use, and if you multiply it with the 2.5, you will get the number of moles of hydrogen peroxide, right? Hydrogen peroxide. You got it? Calculate the number of moles of hydrogen peroxide in C. It is a 2:5 reaction. So what about the number of moles of KMnO4 you use? If you multiply it with the 2.5, you'll get the number of moles of hydrogen peroxide. You understand this one? How to get the calculate the number of moles of H2O2 in C? Okay, great. So you know how to calculate the number of moles of KMnO4 and how to calculate the number of moles of H2O2. Now calculate the molar concentration of each trial. Okay, so all this question actually from the book. Okay, the lab manual you have. So how will you get this? The calculate the number of moles of calculate the molar concentration of the each trial. What is the concentration? So what about the number of mole you will get here in the B in the 2? Okay, what are the number of moles you will get in the 2? If you divided by the volume in liter, you will get the molar concentration of each trial. In each trial you have taken actually 20 ml of B. Try to understand, 20 ml of B you have taken. Okay, so 20 ml divided by the number of the volume in liter, that means divided by the 0.02. So then you will get the molar concentration of each trial of B. So you will get the concentration of the B here. You already came here. Okay, So your B is the concentration of B, you got it. Okay, your B is what? Your B is nothing but the 50 times dilution of the A, right? So your B is nothing but the 50 times excuse me 50 times dilution of the A. So if you multiply the B, the concentration of the B, what you got here with the 50, then you will get the concentration of A, isn't it? You guys understand? Again, I am telling you. So you got the number 2. Till 2 is fine. Calculate the molar concentration of each trial. In each trial, you have taken actually 20 ml of B. So you have to find out the concentration of the B. How to do that? The number of mole, what you got it in the C, in this one, number 2, what you got it, divided by the volume in liter. Divided by the volume in liter. What is the volume? 20 ml. So volume in liter 0.02 liter. So if you do that, you'll get the concentration of the you'll get the you'll get the concentration of the B. Okay, you will get the concentration of the B. So once you got the concentration of the B, this concentration of B is nothing but 50 times dilution of A. So to know the concentration of A, what do you need to do? You just need to, whatever you got it in the 3, you just need to multiply it with the 50 times. Then you will got the concentration of the A1. Okay, you will get the concentration of the hydrogen peroxide. If your concentration, you understand till this part? Please response. Okay. So last question is, so last question is, calculate the molar concentration of A and percentage of hydrogen peroxide. You see, molar concentration you got, suppose 8. Suppose you got 8. Okay, if you got, you have to find out the percentage of hydrogen peroxide. So if you got 8, where is it? Yeah. So if you got, whatever the molar concentration you will get, if it is 8.8%, sorry, if it is 8.8 molar, it is 30%. Okay, if it is 8, then what is the percentage? How can you do that? So if it is 8 divided by 8.8 multiplied with the 30%. Okay, then you will get the percentage of the A. You got it? Whatever you will get in this here, calculate the molar concentration, whatever you will get divided by the standard 8.8 multiplied with the 30%. So whatever you will get, that is the percentage of the A. Clear till this? So you understand what is the principle, what is the experimental and calculation? Everything is clear? Okay, so now go over the let's go over the lab video. So this one is the lab video. So this is very simple, nothing but an hello. So our lab started. This is the hydrogen peroxide, as you can see. So we are going to find out the exact concentration of this hydrogen peroxide. Here it is written 30%, but as I said in the lecture that it is not always 30%. With time the concentration changes. So you see it is written 30%, but it will not be exact 30%. And from this one I have taken 2 ml and put it in this here 2% solution B. And always you need to level like this. 2% solution of B is 2% solution of A. So I have taken 2 ml of this into the volumetric flask and make it up to the mark with water. Okay, so I have taken this and make it up to the mark with the and I'm putting water on it and solution of A. Okay, and I also, with the help of the water, this is the wash bottle, plastic wash bottle, and I am making it up to the mark. So this will be the 2% solution of A. So as you can see, I made the 2% solution of A, that is actually hydrogen peroxide, 30% hydrogen peroxide. This is, we named this one as B, 2% solution of A. Okay, and I also put the KMnO4 into the burette. So the difference of colorful solution and colorless solution is that if you put colorless solution, so like water-like solution. I also discussed this one in the during the experimental part discussion. That if you have a colorful solution, then we actually focus on the upper meniscus. If it is a colorful, if it is a colorless, if it is a water or something like that, so it is a colorful, so that's why we actually focus on the upper meniscus. Okay, if it is a colorless, then we focus on the lower meniscus. Okay, that's what I said here also. Okay, so this is the difference of putting the colorful solution and colorless solution. So this one is the colorful solution. This KMnO4 is a color. You see that the color is dark purple color. So first I am going to, for the titration, I am first going to take the 10 ml of B, you can see, with the help of the pipette. Okay, 10 ml of B with the help of the pipette. Then I will put it in the beaker, okay, which already has a steering rod. And then, so I have taken 10 ml of B, and this is the oxidation reduction. This is the ORP sensor, and I am going to put it inside. As you can see, it is not immersed, and we are also. So in the experimental part, we discussed that we have to add 15 ml of 15 ml of water. So if it is not, okay, your probe, there is a small, okay. So if it is not submerged, then you can add some water also, that's fine, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, you need to make sure that your probe is submersing inside the water. Okay, also need to add 20 ml of 10 ml of 2 molar sulfuric acid, and we can also add some water. So 2 ml of sulfuric acid we have added to make it in the acidic medium. We discussed that this reaction should be in the acidic medium. So that's why we have added. I am going to add 15 ml of water. Okay. And you see the ORP sensor is connected with with our computer. And as we go first, the Logger Pro we have to open. After opening the Logger Pro, then this will come and we have to go to the file and open to a new file. And we will go to the advanced chemistry Vernier, it is already there. And if you take a look at the book, you will see that the peroxide, 32A peroxide, this one we are going to use. Okay. So as you can see, the potential of this is this 563 millivolt. Now, once I will add, if you read the lab notebook, you will see that after adding, the potential should rise. Okay, should increase. Okay, and in your equivalence point, you will observe two things. One is the rise of the potential, that means increase of the potential, sharply increase of the potential, as well as, since it is a indicator, the KMnO4 is a self indicator, so it will give you the change of the color. Normally the color will become colorless to the pink. Okay, so what we do then, now we can start, we can we can increase the steering a little bit, and then we can start by 1 ml. I have started from the 1 ml, so I am going to add 1 more ml. Okay, so 1 ml I have added. As you can see here, I have started collect. I put it this here, actually collect, and then keep. So So this is for the 1 ml. Okay, so this is for the 1 ml. As there is no change of color, you can see, so I can add 1 more ml. As I said, you will observe the color change as well as the change of the potential. Okay, so you see that the color is again became colorless, and so we are going to put here, so keep it, and the value is 2. Okay, so by this way we are going to do. Okay, let's see how it will look like when it will be very close to the end point. So till now I have actually added 8 ml. As you can see here, the oxidation reduction, the potential is not actually changing that much. Okay, and one more thing I want to show you, that is, as you can see, once I am adding the KMnO4, you see they are forming bubbles, right? You see they are forming a lot of bubbles, right? So do you know what are those bubbles actually? These bubbles is nothing but the oxygen, right? As we saw in our in our reaction, it forms when hydrogen peroxide react with the KMnO4, it produces the 5 mole of oxygen. So those oxygen are here, and you can test the presence of oxygen. How? By, if you put a glowing stick here, it will actually pop up, like it will fire the stick. Okay, so yeah, that is we don't do that at lab, but this is the way to do that actually. If you put a stick on here, and it will ignite that stick. And okay, let's see how it look like at the end. So in this case, you see the color is coming, but it is again disappearing, right? So it is not even the equivalence point. Once the equivalence point come, it will like remains the color. The color will remain even in a single drop or 2 drop. It will remain. The single drop will change the whole color of this whole things. So you see the color is last, yeah, now last, it is stable. Okay, last one is that the color change and it's not disappearing anymore. So it means that this is the actually equivalence point. And once you see the equivalence point from here, as well as you see here also, you see the color, the potential is increases from 11, like it was before 500 something. So now it is become 1103 or 1100 something like. Okay, so this is the how you do the titration. Okay, now let's go over the, so you guys have any question regarding that experimental part? Everyone responds. Isra Tahir is still sleeping. Okay, okay, everyone responded. Yes means what? He is sleeping? No. Okay, so let's talk about the questions. So you see, right, for purpose of the lab with your results, so introduction, in this introduction part you will write down the 4 purpose with your results. Okay, whatever you so first don't write the this introduction part at the beginning, because after doing all this calculation you will get your results, and then you will be able to write down the 4 purpose of the lab and as well as the results. Okay, so and here I have given you the data from the from the video you see that actually it is 23 point something maybe. So 20 ml I have taken. So whatever you got it in the video, these are the data from there. So find the following from the above. Okay, so we have discussed this part. So the hydrogen peroxide solution that you tested is a commercial product with the concentration. So I have given some post lab questions, so you need to answer all those post lab questions. And I have given some very what uh, easy oxidation reduction findings with the what is the oxidizing agent, which is the reducing agent, and mention some two advantages of using KMNO4 in this experiment. I believe I have discussed over that as well. And what gases is producing during the addition of the KMNO4, write a balance equation. So you can write it, you can do everything, I believe. So do you have any questions till now? Do you have any questions? Response, or you guys all actually fall asleep? Okay, nope. Okay, that's good. So go over the both of the video again. Okay, so you will, if you have any questions, then you can again text me. Same to you, Fatima, and you'll get your the last lab report by tonight. Okay, same to you. You have any questions regarding the lab report grading of the last week, till the last week lab report grading? Yes, Pablo, yes, I got it. Yes, I got it. Okay, so take care. I am stop sharing my screen, and everyone have a nice week to you too.